all come about?
Well, so the festival really, the idea for the festival was born on the Art and Wine Walk night back in 2023. So this would have been like the first Thursday in May. And so where I have my studio and gallery space, it's pretty much kitty corner. Like I could see that Toyota building, or the Paint It Back building like we call it now, from that space. And in 22, I had been in Miami. I had a group show there, and I was told, like, oh, you have to go to this area called Wynwood, and I was like, okay. And I just remember being in the Uber and driving on this, like, this elevated highway, and then, everything's sort of like beigey white, and then all of a sudden there's this explosion of color, and you can see it from a distance while you're on this highway, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And that was Wynwood. And basically it is a neighborhood that had once been primarily utilized for like making textiles and things like that. So a bunch of warehouses that eventually, when that industry for that area, was gone, it became abandoned, and it was like, it was an eyesore, and also a location that brought a lot of things you don't want in your town, right? And so, but of course there was lots of wall space, so that attracted the graffiti artists and the street artists, and then there was a gallery that was like, oh, okay, because people understand, like, once the artists start to show up, like everything else, it's only a matter of time before that neighborhood will totally transform and change. And so there was a gallery that kind of went in initially, and then that inspired this developer to buy up several blocks of property, enclose it and call it Wynwood Walls, and it's like $12 to get in, so it's not too expensive. And the whole concept is that the walls of the buildings are the gallery walls, and those constantly change. And he has passed, but his daughter continues his legacy, and they invite, to this day, artists from all over the world, super famous artists. They come, they change the walls, and then inside the buildings themselves, they have a gift shop, or they'll have certain galleries and things like that. And it is just so awesome. And since then, they've grown to now they have like a restaurant on site, and the programming there is just tremendous. So anyhow, back to your initial question, right? Because I could go off on many tangents here, but essentially, I was looking at the building and thinking, okay, well, why don't we do that here, like a mini Wynwood? Like, let's just activate the space, and until people, Sawmill and other, they're the owners. So until Sawmill decides what they want to do with this building, we can just cover it with murals and sort of brighten up the space, right? And that's really how it all started.
And it is very bright. The colors on there are just amazing.
Thank you, yes.
So the first year for this was, of course, August of 2023.
Yes.
And then, of course, you brought it back again last year, and now the third year for it. And so let's talk about the time frame of this.
Yeah.
When are the artists going to start arriving?
So our first artist actually gets into town on the 15th, but we officially start on August 16th. That's when the majority, all the other artists will come in at that time. And that's when we start painting the murals. Chris and I will prime the building and get it prepped for that, probably the weekend before, but the actual painting of the murals starts on the 16th. And so they come and they paint, and then the festival, so like the community is always invited to come and stop by, and they do, which is awesome. We love having people come and visit and talk to us. So please keep doing that. That is so much fun and part of what makes it special. And then our planned sort of festival type activities start happening the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd.
Let's talk a little bit about the artists. You're telling me everybody from last year is back?
Yeah, they all wanted to come back. I think, again, and I've probably said this a million times, and people might be sick of hearing it, but it is so, it's so meaningful to me that, these are artists that are from Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, Kansas City, all over the United States. And these are guys who have been painting for decades and decades and decades. Like, they are very experienced, super well known in this world. And they loved their experience in Clinton. And it wasn't just because, they had a beautiful large wall to paint on and the freedom to paint whatever family-friendly mural they wanted to paint. They also loved the experience of Clinton, Iowa, and we have bikes for them, so they rode on the bike path. They went all the way up to Eagle Point Park. They loved the just all the people who would come by and, bring the Gatorade or popsicles or treats, just like the sense of community and just how they felt really appreciated by the community. And it was amazing to see them just fall in love with our town. So they did all, without question, ask to come back. And one artist, we have Wes Abarca, and this is his third year. He loves it so much, and he's even to the point where he's looking for property, I think, this time around. He really enjoys his time here. So all of them are coming back, and then we have 3 additional artists that we're having as our guest artists, so that on the day of the block party, you can see these live murals in action. So people will be painting while the bands are playing and other activities are happening.
Again, visiting with Gabi Torres, Paint It Back is coming to the Lions neighborhood. These artists that we have coming in, do they travel throughout the year and do different things
all
like
the
this?
Time. Yeah. Many of them, so Wes, for example, this is what he does all year round. He travels from state to state and paints murals. And then many of the other artists too, they are constantly traveling to do different battles or festivals or things like that. It's awesome,
So you said battles. So, is there competition sometimes?
So sometimes, there will be, sometimes there are competitions. So battle essentially is either one artist will go up against another artist, or maybe it's a team, or maybe it's a certain, a crew goes up against another crew, and they have a set amount of time. Most times there's a specific set of colors, and maybe there's a theme, maybe there's not, or it's focused on either writing or making characters, and they go for it. And the winner usually, sometimes I'm sure there's prizes, sometimes I'm sure it's just clout. So we're actually having a battle this year ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So on the 23rd, which is our block party day, we have exponentially, we have so much happening that day. It is incredible. And one of the things we have is art battle. So we have we're calling it a street art battle, and it's from 2 to 7. And so we opened it up. We had a call for artists. We had submissions come in, and we selected a local artist, Jacob Schienauer, and then an artist from Des Moines, Jacob Kupperman, and they will be coming, and they will go at head to head. And the winner gets, it's sponsored by AdCraft. Thank you for AdCraft that we can do this. And thanks to their sponsorship, then the winner of the battle will get $500. And the judges are 3 of our artists who will be painting during the week.
So explain the battle. Is it going to be a blank canvas?
Yes. Okay. So Chris built this giant 8 foot by 16 foot freestand, a wall with casters, so we can move it around. So we're going to paint that white, and then we will have that. And we, just so people know, because there's so much going on, we have a map, we have a schedule, and that information is available on our website, and we'll be posting that soon on our Facebook page. Shout out to Ari Leverens for her incredible marketing mind and her genius for being able to take all this information and make it into something you can easily understand. But back to the battle. So we will paint it white, and then they will arrive, and again, so they'll be painting next to each other. They get 8 foot by 8 foot each. And so with us, what our judges wanted this year is they arrive, we have 12 cans of color. It's the same for each. And they're only allowed to bring their sketchbook, and they can bring any specific caps for a spray paint that they want. And I said you could bring a piece of cardboard too, to help with overspray and things like that. And that's all they can bring. And they don't know what the theme is until they arrive.
Okay,
and then,
so you can't tell the theme.
No, I don't even know what the theme is. The judges haven't picked yet.
Okay, all right.
So once they pick, then they'll know the day of, and then so basically they have 5 hours to maybe come up with a quick sketch and then put it onto the wall.
That'll be a great addition.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break for the
sure.
weather. When we come back, we'll talk about what is all going to be taking place.
Oh my gosh, so much.
All right, very good. Our weather update brought to you by Electronics.
Goodbye heat, goodbye humidity, and goodbye thunderstorms. A much calmer and comfortable weather pattern moving in as we get to the back half of the work week. We'll see mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies today. Temperatures in the mid-70s tonight. Windows open, partly cloudy to mostly clear. Will drop to the mid-50s. With your Storm Track 8 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutsky.
Hazy sunshine, 68 degrees. Our update brought to you by Electronics.
Electronics Incorporated, the area's largest communications and alarm systems company, where their #1 goal is customer service. Their quality work in a timely manner keeps you connected to the world. Electronics technicians realize that communication is the key to your company's productivity and profit. Their professional team has decades of experience that bring you the best possible service. Electronics Incorporated, 522 North 2nd Street, Clinton, or go to electronicsinc.com.
Pleasure to have Gabi Torres in studio for FYI. Of course, Paint It Back will be coming up the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Let's break down the days.
Yes,
the
okay.
21st, it's going to be a special day for you.
Yeah, so the 21st is a special day. That's going to be, we're going to have our sponsor night, and so that's our way of, we're inviting our sponsors, our volunteers, and then we have our board members, everyone who's really who's worked hard to make this event possible. They are going to be the first guests at my gallery space. So Chris and I have a gallery space. It's called 81 Main. That space has been being renovated for like the past 3 years, and we're finally there. But we're so excited. So we will invite our guests into our gallery, and we're going to have artists there from our art from the artists who are coming this year. And in addition to some photographs we're getting made of the walls from last year that'll be available for bid, auction, or sale. I haven't decided yet. And then we'll have snacks. We'll have creative catering coming to provide the nom-noms, and then we'll have some refreshments as well. So it's from 5 to 7. We'll have some music there, and yeah, it's going to be great. So that's the first sort of like kind of kickoff event. And then on Friday, which is the 22nd, it's opening up. It's sort of our first public event. So that's our meet and greet, which will be at the Paint It Back building. And so from 6 to 9, we are going to have DJ, the associate, a.k.a. Chad Jensen. We have Delectable Delights there, so for food, and we'll have the Rusty Wagon for the beverages. And so people basically, the meet and greet is a chance to come. If you've already gotten your AdCraft t-shirt, bring that. If you are going to buy one there, we'll have t-shirts available for sale. Get your t-shirt, and then you can have the artist sign your shirt that night, which is really awesome. We did that last year, and like they turned these t-shirts into art. It was so beautiful, and just incredible. So we'll do that. And then one of our artists, his name is Donald Ross. He goes by Scribe. He is a really talented, incredible artist and just creative mind from Kansas City. And he has a film he just finished. And so we will have an official screening of his film called The Scribbleverse, which I'm so excited. So that'll happen probably about 8:45 or 9.
Is this all going to be indoors?
This will be outdoors.
Okay.
So I hope for many days like today.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, knock on wood, all of it. And so we'll be able to play his movie and have that screening afterwards. And Characters to Life, I think I have a meeting with them later, but I think we'll be able to have that big inflatable movie screen now. And they reached out, and they're also doing our balloon art and kids activities for Saturday. So that's Friday night.
Okay.
So then on Saturday, that's the big day. That's the big, big, big day. How much time do we have?
What time does everything get started?
Okay, so everything gets started at noon, and our hours are from noon to 10, but we've got a lot of different things happening. So this year, in addition to our food trucks that we've always had, and then obviously we have the Stockwells play every year, we have a lot more stuff. So starting at noon, we have our vendor, our market fair happening. So we have artists and we have some fashion tents, vendors who will be on site, so you can do a little shopping, buy some local art or regional art, or get some new clothes. Really cool stuff happening. Our 2 fashion tents, as we like to call them, one is from Dubuque, and they'll be, it's all vintage finds. And with the Amidst Lounge, you can upscale your vintage clothing. She'll have patches and things you can use, or you can do a clothing swap, and she'll even style you for a mini photo shoot, which I think is super fun. We have another designer coming from Dubuque as well, Pink Moons Cree. She does indigenous. She's indigenous, and she also does these amazing like beaded earrings and artwork like that, which is so awesome. And then we have our local Carrie Donaire with Mama Gets Casual, who's partnering with Danica Prone of Spring Lake Campground, and they're creating this whole boho glam tent experience. It's going to be incredible.
I didn't know Carrie did that.
Oh, she does it, and she's so good at it.
She's never said anything to me about that.
I'm revealing.
I guess.
Sorry, Carrie. I'm letting the world know. So those are our fashion vendors, and then we
Okay.
have, I want to say, 8 artists that are coming as well. So that'll be fun. That's from 12 to 8. From 12 to 4, we have our kids zone, and I do have to use my notes just to make sure I mention everybody. So for kids zone, we're going to have always the Paint It Back Kids Wall, but this year we're adding stencils. So kids and kids at heart are welcome to come and try their hand at spray paint and using stencils and spray paint to do some artwork. Which will be super cool. We have Characters to Life, who is going to be there with face painting, balloon art, and glitter body paint. We have the Clinton County Sheriff's Department with their train, which is always so fun. We have the Sawmill Museum with their kid-friendly axe throwing. It's Velcro, not real axes. And then Clinton Public Library is bringing some kids' games. And so that's all from noon to 4. Also from noon to 4, we have a BMX demonstration. So there's an organization called Ollywood out from Dubuque, and Jason and his crew are coming. They're bringing a ramp, and we'll have BMX bike tricks from noon to 4 happening as well, which I am so excited about. And then we also have from 2 to 6 a car show. A classic car show that'll be on the McKinley Street in front of the Paint It Back building. We are also having our art battle from 2 to 7. And then we have the music. So music is happening from noon until 10. So starting at noon, we have Christina Marie and Sean Healy, from Dubuque. Kicking it off, they have blues, rock, jazz, folk. And then we have DJ Angel coming from Chicago. And then at 5, we have Bill and Dan Dunmore of the Harvest Band from 5 to 7. 7 to 8, we have the Malortians. And then we cannot have a Paint It Back Festival. It's not a festival. It's not a block party without the Stockwells. So the Stockwells are closing it all out from 8 to 10.
Did you ever imagine that it would expand to all of this? I mean, it's only the 3rd year for this, Gabi.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, I did in my heart always dream it would expand to something like this. I just didn't think it would happen in year 3. But it did. It did for a couple reasons. Firstly, because I wanted to expand it, but then it was this beautiful snowball effect where more people wanted to get involved and would approach me and be like, oh, what about this or what about this? And so I think for us, when we met as a board, we were like, okay, this year we're going to add the paint battle and the vendor sort of area, the art market.
Now, you mentioned the board.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can name them all, but who's all involved in
On our
this?
board, they are awesome, wonderful people.
Yeah.
So Paint It Back, the co-founders and co-directors are myself and Chris Shannon.
Right.
And then our board members are Matt Parbs is our president.
Okay.
Chad Jensen is our vice president. I don't know if we've made it official, but Chad,
You're the
you're the VP. Dan Serp is our treasurer, and then Kip Simpson is our secretary. And then we have Brandon Price as well. He's he's an artist who also sits on our board. And then it's myself and Chris, and we're just a small but mighty team. And then we have our honorary, volunteers extraordinaire, which is Ari, who's been helping with all the marketing and really the driving force. But all the reels this year, all of that messaging is coming from her, and she's doing an awesome job. Like, our Instagram is incredible. Like, in the last 30 days, we have people from all over the country, and we're up to like almost 16,000 people are viewing our stuff.
Who are you expecting to all bring to our community? And it'd be great if the North Bridge was open. But
Oh, you mean for visitors?
yeah, I mean, during this event.
Oh, I think, so obviously Clinton, for
Yeah.
sure, the community here, the surrounding towns of Clinton, Fulton, that would be, the North Bridge kind of is a bummer, but I mean, it's not, we're just used to using the North Bridge. I did it the other day. I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad, I guess. I just have to play it ahead a little bit. And then I know for sure we're getting some visitors from Des Moines, Burlington, Dubuque. I'm really focused this year with our marketing and trying to attract people from Burlington and Dubuque, because I kind of view us as sister cities. We're river towns, and it's just, we're smaller river towns, and I think we kind of understand each other in a particular way, so those partnerships have been awesome, and I know I have people coming from those two places as well, and we've been really coming here soon. We're definitely focusing a lot of our marketing strategies that are outside of Clinton. We're focusing on those areas, because it's really not that far to get to either of these places, and they're wonderful communities, and also have a lot of cool things going on. So I just think, let's start visiting each other more and doing things and partnering.
Time goes by so quickly when we have you in studio. We got about 3-4 minutes left in the program. I just wanted to talk a little bit about when the artists come in. You mentioned the sketch, so they've got it probably on paper or something like that, and then they put it up on the wall. What about you and Chris? What do you guys got planned for this year?
Oh, well, you'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so we all come with, I would say the majority of our artists, we have a concept design.
Right.
And then that's what we base our mural on this year. So I can't give away the secrets. You just have to come and see.
And do the artists who come in, I mean, like the one, did they have certain like animals or things that they do?
Yeah. Some of them, for example, Scribe, he does these these specific characters that are very specific to Scribe, because those characters are actually, they exist in a universe which are the basis for his children's books.
Okay.
So those are that's what he does. And if you see one of his characters, if you were to go to Kansas City or somewhere else where he has work, you would know it when you see it immediately. It's such a distinctive style. And then so I know Louis, he goes by Hippie. He's really into jungle or forests and stuff. So there's always a lot of greens, and there's some sort of element to that. Wes always does animals. He loves doing wildlife.
Is it like a deer or an animal?
His is the buck, yeah.
Okay, all right.
And I know people are so sad. I know everybody loves the buck. We all love the buck. Go get your pictures now, friends, because I hate to tell you, but the buck's gonna go bye-bye. I don't mean that I love the buck too, but we have to stay true to the ethos of Paint It Back, which is new every year.
Okay. Hey, again, thank you so much for your time. Just a quick plug for 81 Main.
Yes, 81 Main.
When will the gallery be open to the public, and what you're going to have set hours, or what do y'all got planned?
Yeah, so eventually, yes, it will be open to the public. I think we are going to sort of build up to that, just because I am so busy with all the things. But we are going to start off by doing a first Friday or second Fridays where we would be open to the public the second Friday of each month, and we will have an art show and people can come and look at the art, and we would have same sort of deal, snacks and refreshments and music. Eventually, my goal is to be open Thursday, Friday, Saturday with set hours, and eventually grow into maybe a full week. And also the space it has a kitchenette, so I think we are going to open it up to rentals for events, small events. It's not a big space, but small private parties, or it's a great place to have a work meeting. We have great work meetings there. So yeah, so that's to come too. So when she's all up and ready, I'd love to come back and talk about 81 Main.
Well, we'll have you back in, and we'll probably have you in the week of the 18th.
Yes.
When everything gets going.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.